On today's show, we're breaking down two games from last night that basically explain the entire Rookie of the Year race. One rookie scored 51 points and lost, another scored 20 and won by 21. And when you look at these two performances side by side, it tells you everything about how this race is being evaluated right now. Because it isn't just about stats, it's not just about highlights, it's really a philosophy question. What do you value more, efficiency within a system or creation without one? And that's what we're going to dig into today. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Harrison Talks Pod, episode 58. Today we're going to go through all of these games, zoom out on what each team actually is, and then use that to frame the Rookie of the Year race between Kon Knueppel and Cooper Flagg. I hope you're having a great day, great week. Harrison Talks Pod is part of SidePanel Network. We have Nintendo Therapy coming out the same day this podcast comes out. I have gameplays on my Let's Play YouTube channel. We got comics. We got Ninja Turtle nerds that came out last week. And we got a lot of other fun things. Follow us on socials. The link is in the description. And let's get into talking about the Hornets game from last night. So I was going to start today with a smaller segment, but I thought I would just tie it into the first part of this segment here. And I think NBA fans like me probably feel the same way, right? The end, or rather, the last 2 months of this season has been a little bit different than other seasons. And by different, I do mean a little bit rougher to get through with a lot of these games. It's kind of difficult when you have around 10 teams that aren't trying to win. And then, even though you might have, let's say, 20 teams trying to win, they might play one of those 10 teams on one of those nights. And then, how much quality basketball is there really? So, just give me the first minute to just kind of say that because the Hornets did win last night. They've been winning a lot, and there's nothing to take away if they win against a team that is trying to tank right now. They won against the Pacers, 129 to 108. They started on a 31 to 11 run, a start which featured a 24 to 2 run. So it was never close, never really developed beyond that, but still a good team win with their key players on the Hornets. For the Hornets, they shot 24 of 49 from the field. Oftentimes, when they're winning games, they are attempting more than 53s per game. While the Pacers were 15 of 36 from three. So plus 27 in three-pointers. Assist, actually kind of close, 31 to 25 on the Pacers. And offensive rating was consistent, 130 to 109. Shot quality is something that is very important to look at on games where the Hornets are winning games. Admittedly, I wasn't watching them as much in the beginning of their run, like kind of maybe like beginning of this year, February. But I'm happy to say that when I have watched them play these games, most of these games, is that they are playing a very good system of basketball. So that's a delight to see from a young team. Hate seeing Miles Bridges, but that's something different though. Anyways, LaMelo Ball played a huge role last night. Of course, 31 assists. Oftentimes, too, they're one of the top assist teams in the league. So oftentimes when they're winning games, they're somewhere around that 30 assist range. So that's a great thing to hit. If they're gonna hit that number, then they have better chance of winning a game. What am I saying? I'm just saying obvious things here. Anyways, LaMelo Ball had 9 of those assists, had 5 threes. Brandon Miller had a great game with 22 points. Zion James, am I saying that right? 13 points and led the team in plus minus at plus 26. LaMelo Ball was a plus 22. And Kon Knueppel, who we'll talk about next, is a plus 20. And Kon Knueppel will be a big feature of today, talking about Rookie of the Year. He had 20 points, plus 20, 7 of 12 from the field, including 3 of 7 from 3. Oftentimes, when he is having good games, he's not forcing his offense and he's just thriving within this system. I've heard some podcasts and I guess some broadcasts this past week or so talk about whether, like, if you were to flip Kon Knueppel and Cooper Flagg, what it would look like. And it would still be successful on both ends. We'll talk more about the identity of both of these teams. But if you put Cooper Flagg as a power forward on this team next to LaMelo Ball, he would do great on this team. Uh, how does it affect Rookie of the Year? Who knows? That's where the hypothetical will end for me. So the Hornets are winning on spacing. They're winning on ball movement, on having multiple offensive creators, and what can I say? Uh, it's been difficult in the past to watch LaMelo Ball for me. I haven't always been a believer of all of it, but it's a great system with young players, an A-plus broadcasting team. I will say that every time I watch a Hornets game, I try to watch their broadcast. So that's always a plus too. Just a fan plus. They are 42 and 36. They've won 8 of their last 10. They In the last 34 games, they had a 9-game winning streak, which was historic. They had a 6-game winning streak, a 5-game winning streak, and after this last game against the Pacers, they've now won 3 in a row. Um, did have a not so good game against the Celtics, which I'll use in just a little bit. That was their last loss. On the other end, the Pacers are 18 and 59. One team playing organized basketball, another team playing for the lottery, the off season for their superstar player to get healthy. And what can I say? I love Indiana basketball, and I'm looking forward to them playing meaningful basketball again. On the other end, the Mavericks last night, they lost, and this is a game that I watched most of live. So they lost to Orlando 138 to 127. The Orlando Magic are certainly just a big topic right now with just lacking in some areas like defense and just not as happy with Paul Bencaro as I think we should be. I had him ranked pretty high to start this season, and they worry me going into the postseason just based on how they played. They won last night, and they can certainly generate a lot of offense. 138 points against this Dallas team. Cooper Flagg, 51 points, youngest player to do it. He was also he scored 49 points against the Hornets and was the youngest player to score that, whatever it was, 40 points, whatever it was. But anyways, youngest player now to score 50 points and just a very dominant style of how he's generating his offense. It's some scary stuff, Cooper Flagg. I don't think he's going to win Rookie of the Year based on what we're going to talk about today, but it's very unique. Like, I can't compare him to Luka Doncic, even though we'd want to with him being on the Mavericks. The size might be kind of different, but he plays so above the rim that that's very different than Luka, which is just very methodical and just kind of lulls defenders to sleep and gets them on his hip and just plays at his own pace, right? Cooper Flagg is someone who almost the jump shot only. It's the only LeBron comparison that I would make because LeBron came into the league as not a good jump shooter and through work became a good jump shooter. I wouldn't say decent, but that's not fair to him. He became a good jump shooter. Cooper Flagg, he's young and we expect him to get there, but not really having a jump shot and 51 points at 19 years old is pretty crazy. As I said, no jump shot. He was 6 of 9 from 3, 19 of 30 from the field. Extremely high usage. I haven't been watching as much of Dallas this last month or so. They haven't been winning games, and there's other teams that are trying to win games right now. I'm really looking forward to what this team looks like just next season. Dallas relies a lot on isolation basketball. I don't know if that's just, hey, give the ball to Cooper, let Cooper do something. If nothing happens, that's okay. And it's just a lot of resetting. It's not a lot of continuity. I think they have a lot of good young players on this team, and some players that they are going to retain on this team as well. But it's just a lot of driving, passing, trying to finish, having multiple decision makers on the floor at one time. Uh, so Orlando took advantage of this game. Uh, Dallas kept it close early on, but chased throughout most of the game. Cooper Flag made some terrific shots, had some massive usage on Orlando's side, 35 assists, 6 players in double figures. Just an overall much better game from them. And we won't take away anything, even though they played the Dallas Mavericks. And for the Mavericks, they are 3-17 in their last 20. They haven't won two back to back in that same time. So the last time they won 2 in a row was right before this run of 20 games. No real structure. I expect them to run it back with the same coach, and I guess they're making decisions on GM right now, and they could get another huge pick in the lottery this off season. With Kyrie Irving coming back, it has a lot of talent. It's just a lack of system right now. With that, let's zoom out a little bit and look more at the Hornets' identity. So for the Hornets, mentioned that in these last really 34 games have just been playing outstanding basketball, multiple runs, even with the 9-game winning streak, 6-game winning streak, 5-game winning streak, on a winning streak now, and it's just coming at the perfect time for them as well. Like timing is everything for just any league, right? And for games that they are winning, they're often attempting more than 53s or around 53s. They're often getting more than 30 assists on games where they win. And in their last 10 games, they are averaging 122 points per game, one of the highest offenses in the league in that span. And they are 8-2 in that span as well. relying a lot on ball movements and multiple people that can shoot the ball and create the offense. LaMelo Ball is leading the team in assists at 7.6 assists per game. Brandon Miller is uh, doing better at finishing and 46% from three in that span of 34 games. So he is doing great and shooting the ball very, very well in that time span. And players like Kobe White offer a great connection piece on this team as well. If you look over at the Mavericks identity, putting into context, talking about Rookie of the Year race, in the last 20, they are 3-17. They are minus 11.1 in their last 20 and their plus minus. And on games where they win and lose, their efficiency, their effective field goal percentage swings very, very much. Not winning very many games, but on games where they are losing, they are not shooting the ball well. Lack of structure, lack of consistency. And good news there is that if Kyrie Irving comes back healthy next season, I mean, he's older. Timeline isn't the best, but that's immediate structure right there. Just having any resemblance of point guard next to Cooper Flagg. And Kyrie Irving is not just any point guard. So there's at least good news there. It's been I think a memorable season for the Mavericks as a transition, right? Unfortunately, it's not the transition like it was perhaps when we had Luka Doncic and Dirk Nowitzki on the same team for 1 year in 2017, but it's a different kind, I guess. 2017, right? Whatever his rookie season was. Anyways, I was trying to avoid it. Cooper Flag averaging this season, or sorry, post All Star break, is averaging 21.9 points per game, 5.7 assists, 6.7 rebounds, and just has a lot of responsibility and a super high usage, especially for a rookie. And it's more typical, right? Right? Kon Knueppel is having a historic rookie season, just leading the league with 3 points made and playing on a team that will be competing in the postseason. Cooper Flagg is more of the typical getting picked first and playing on a bad team. It's just not typical of how he got there with the low odds and, well, Dallas probably shouldn't have been in the lottery to begin with if they would have had, not to rehash too much too many times. We're going to move straight ahead. So I had a pretty good feeling I wanted to talk about Rookie of the Year race because, well, look at the games yesterday. We had two close games and maybe one consequential game yesterday, and just not a lot that I wanted to talk about. The good news is, after this week, we just we do playoffs, play in playoffs. That's it. That's it. We have consequential basketball from here on out. So think of it as a transition week for us. Uh, don't want to bring up other podcasts too much, but we will cite Hoops Collective on here every once in a while because they do straw poll and they just have a lot more connections than I do. So let's face it. Unique about straw poll this time is that for the first time, I think ever, they did Rookie of the Year straw poll. And what's the main difference between MVP and rookie is that MVP has 5 votes, rookie has 3 votes. So it looks a little bit different. There is basically 5 players that got votes overall, and really only two realistically. VJ Edgecombe got some, and Great rookie season from him on a very, very, very good team. But surprisingly, and I was surprised by this, not that Kon Knueppel was in first, but just by how different it is. And if Rookie of the Year straw poll is like MVP, this is a good indicator of what it's going to look like. And it was before the 51-point game by Cooper Flagg on a game that they did lose as well. So take that however you want. It might swing some things. I'm sure it does swing some things. Kon Knueppel had 80 first place votes. Cooper Flagg had 20. That was it for first place votes, I guess. So wasn't surprised that Kon was ahead, but I was surprised that he was ahead by that much. And I think there are good arguments for both. And as I've mentioned, Cooper Flagg is more likely playing on a more typical rookie situation. Even though the whole situation before it's not typical, playing on a not so good team, a team that's not maybe trying to compete in your rookie season. So it is a big gap. But I bet if we did it today compared to last week, I bet there would be a little bit more of a swing just based on these performances. But given that the Hornets are going to try to win the rest of the season, and they have been winning, they're on a win streak right now. Dallas will not be focused on winning. Is there any way to close that gap? I know that a lot of, I'll say, Mavericks fans or even Mavericks media is feeling a certain way about this. Um, but if this is how it looks in a straw poll, I just don't see how it changes in this next week and a half, 2 weeks or so. Um, how it makes that different at all. So that's it. Put the straw poll in context. Uh, it's useful to look at, and I was just overall surprised by how big of a gap there is, and perhaps that just means that uh, the what Kon Knueppel is doing on a team that's winning is playing a bigger role than I had anticipated. But I agree with it, of course. I think he should be ahead. He is ahead. Just surprised that it is that much. We'll see where it ends. Kon Knueppel last 10 games, 16 points per game, 38% from three, 92% of his threes are assisted. Look at the tracking data. Uh, so that's just really exciting to look at. If you're a basketball fan or Hornets fan, it's efficiency that is system dependent. So if you enjoy system basketball, even though it's modern basketball, even though it's a lot of threes, at least it is a system offense with multiple offensive creators. Fascinating turnaround. Just I I knew this team could play within a system, but it certainly seems like a lot of these young teams get ahead of schedule. And we'll see what they do in the postseason. That's where I'll kind of leave that. We'll see what they do. Post All-Star break for Cooper Flagg. I mentioned 21.9, 5.7, 6.7 is the primary engine of the Mavericks. He is the offense of the Dallas Mavericks right now. And it's just going to be very, very scary when Kyrie gets back on the floor. And I also believe too that Kyrie Irving is great to put next to players that are developing as well. So, you know, look forward to that unless you're going up against this team who I fully expect to be competing next year. That should be the expectations there. So in the long term, who knows? Who knows in the long term? I think it's amazing that they were roommates in college. I think Cooper Flagg might be the player I take now, looking at the long term or looking at who perhaps you would maybe build around. If the conversation was like Luca and Cooper, I would still take Luca based on his professional experience, Luka Doncic before coming into the league, and just I guess everything that we know now. But in hindsight, right? The shot creation. But yeah, once Cooper Flagg gets a jump shot, uh, and then the defense is already there, that gets better. I think you're looking at of course multiple All Star, but multiple All NBA and all defensive as well. Um, just very very interesting and a very very memorable Rookie of the Year race, despite not having it be the most memorable end of the season. So if you made it this far, thanks for joining me on this kind of in between week. I had nothing else to really talk about unless I wanted to talk about most most surprising offenses or something else. But Hornets right now are a play-in team, but trending upwards, which is, I think, the most important right now. And the Mavericks are all about season development. So, thank you so much for joining me today. We'll see where this race ends up. Sure looks like Kon Knueppel has it locked down, but again, I don't think it'll be 80-20 at the end. We'll see what this last week holds for us, and we'll see what the Hornets do if they stay in eighth place. Where they are in eighth now. They are a game and a half from the Raptors in sixth. They can still get out of the play-in, but the lowest they could go is 10. Um, and they're only a game above 10th place Heat right now, who I have a lot of thoughts about as well. Um, a lot of good and bad thoughts about my Miami Heat, I want to say. Anyways, thank you for joining me today. Like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, and check all the links in the description. Have a great basketball week. I will see you next time.